What's up out there? Welcome back to Melvor Adventure Mode. We are on episode 27. You will notice that runecrafting is sitting at level 99. That is done. This one was kind of a slog to get done. I think I ended up crafting a whole ton of ancient runes to finish it off. Or maybe I was doing lava runes, because these give you decent XP. Let's see here. Yeah, they give you a lot more, almost double the XP over the ancient runes. But I did go into the fire magic gear for a little bit too. I was making these things for a while. That's why I have like level 93 mastery of them. But they take 250 fire runes. So I kind of figured I could teeter-totter back and forth between burning out all the fire runes for this thing, or for these fire expert robes, because they give you 165 XP versus, whatever fire runes are. They're like 30. I ended up settling on the lava runes, simply because they give you 110 XP, and there's something I can probably use at some point. Crafting fire gear or this expert robes a lot was just, I'm going to use one set of robes and then I'm going to throw them away and equip something else because I've got ancient gear, so no big deal. So that's pretty much what I did. I ran through all my runes that I was working on. Rune crafting itself, I was using all the runes that I needed at the time. So say air, water, fire, whatever, nature, probably some spirit and the ancient and all that stuff. So there's a lot of runes that I either don't have a lot of, or, I burned up all the fire ones, but like these havoc runes, blood runes, I don't think I ever use any of those. And if they stay low, or if I don't find myself using them, I might just ditch all these. Although I could use these for some summoning tablets, so maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But at any rate, rune crafting is done. Rune crafting level 99, done with it, so I don't have to deal with it. And the other one that came up was fletching. And fletching, I had to go back and forth a lot with this one too. I used pretty much all of my gems. Like I have a few emeralds, a few rubies, and a few sapphire. Well, I kind of quit at sapphire because this only brings up 45 XP, whereas this is 60 and this is 130. So it just got to the point where I wasn't moving very far, very fast. I have a stack of bolts now, which is great. Let's see. Yeah, 149,000 of those, 70,000 of those. I'm pretty well stacked up with bolts. No big deal. Let's see, I have more of those. I can equip those up right there. That refreshes that pile. But I do now have fletching at level 99. I think I ended up doing rune javelins. I was looking at dragon javelins. I thought, you know what? I can make a pretty profit off of it. But the problem with dragon javelins is you have to go and get... to smith it, you need to have coal, dragonite, and runite. So you have to have all three of these components. And they give you decent XP. Like the runes are 190 versus the dragons are 240. So you get a lot of extra XP, but you have to go through a lot of extra trouble to make them. So I would have had to mine up more minerals than I really needed. So I thought, you know what, I'll stick with runes because they are just rune. The rune bar is just runite and coal. It doesn't mix anything. So I took the path of least resistance and did a whole crap ton of rune javelins. And what I would do is, I think I mined up a bunch of runite. And that's probably why I have a big stack of runite in my inventory now that I think about it. So I mined up a bunch of runite and smithed it up into a bunch of bars and then turned that into the javelin heads, went and fletched some, came back when I ran out. That's kind of what I did, is just bounced around to get that up to 99. So fletching is done. That means all of our non-combat skills are now at level 99, which is huge because this account came from... what's interesting to me is that this account started at the same time as my hardcore. Now, I've been going a lot slower on my hardcore, but not only have I came in and leveled out all of these, but I've I guess it's the difference of offline combat, because I was just letting this thing run where I don't do that with my hardcore character. Maybe I need to at some point, but it's just kind of interesting how fast this character's came up. I had to even stop and buy all these skills. So I was sitting there looking at this, and I wanted to get back into combat. So I wanted to go back into range combat or magical combat and get these leveled up. And I think I had the Screaming Chicks from this area. Who are they? Not those, these. The Cursed Maidens. I had a bunch of them to kill off. So I killed them off, and now I'm up at Bounty Hunters. That's kind of where I left off yesterday. But when I started to go into the combat with them, I thought, man, this kind of sucks. Something felt a little bit off, and I couldn't really put my finger on what. And then I sat and I looked at my agility. I had not redone any of my agility for combat at all. So I was like, all right, so I have to redo a bunch of this. And then the first thing I noticed is that I was under 50% on my mastery pool, which the key to that is once you hit 50%, you get a 10% cost reduction. Once you hit 95%, you get another cost reduction. So I was like, you know what? I at least want to get 50%. I mean, the cape gives you a little bit of cost reduction and a little bit of gold and everything from it. But if you're going to do, and of course I redid pretty much all these skills before I realized that, so, or all these obstacles, I should say. So I was like, well, shit. So I let it run. And then I thought, you know what? I'll make some money. So I had this cranked up with the pendant and the coin purse and the sneakers and the signet ring and all this kind of thing, but it still really didn't make great money. Agility makes good money, but not great money like thieving does. So if you get the right summoning tablets and thieving, you are just gonna make a ton of money. And I didn't stop to make the potion for this either. I was like, you know what? I just want to get this thing up to 50%. And then I've since taken it to 95% because you do get another cost reduction. So I figured if I'm going to be switching these back and forth, then I need to have as much cost reduction as possible. I don't care about completion with this account. So that's where we're at. So I let this run for a day or so, day and a half, I think it was. It was a little bit. But we are now in pretty much full on combat mode. I have one obstacle, this waterfall, this number 10. I am working to get the carrots I need for that. I'm growing carrots now. Kind of forgot about what I was doing and started growing some other stuff, and I had to correct that this morning. But what I typically take, and if you go to the wiki page, they'll give you a big list of stuff you're supposed to have for Into the Mist. But the first two don't matter. These don't have any combat. In fact, they don't have anything but the one obstacle that, well, this one has agility, but fire making is the one I'm going to leave this at. Same thing with thieving. I don't really need these, but there's no harm in leaving them. Pipe climb gives you melee hit and evasion. Gap jump, they typically tell you to take the coal stones, I think, because you're going to get some food value and, you know, some preserve resources and things like that. Until I get my all skill cape, this one this takes 4% of your skill away, so globally, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave that one off for now. But this coal stones is what I would end up taking. I mean, you don't really want to lose your farm yield or anything like that. You definitely don't want to take damage reduction or lose hit points. So these two are out. They give you some cool stuff, but not necessarily something I want to take, especially the damage reduction one. That's pretty big. You get a little hit points out of it, but that's too much of a hit. Let's see here. That was this one, right? Yeah. So then we come down to cliff balance. This one adds some prayer cost, but you get extra hit points, which theoretically this plus 200 could negate some of this one. And if this is at 99 mastery, you would not have any negatives to it, but I don't want to take that. I take this one here instead. It gives you a little bit of accuracy bonuses. So over the other ones, I don't know. Yeah, lake swim on this one gives you damage reduction. This one gives you a little bit of hit points. Of course, this is adventure mode, so it's going to have a lot more hit points than normal. Let's see here. Of course, ice jump. This is one I just leave on ice jump. I don't know that I've ever taken anything different. You could do water jump, but I prefer to get the resource preservation, the healing. Like, this gives you a lot of bonuses. So Slayer skill XP, Slayer coin, you know, I love keeping it on that. Well, this one does have the benefit down here is this one does take a point away from the cost of prayer. So you could actually use this cave maze to balance out the other one, but yeah, whatever. We're back to the pillar of combat. I had to make money, so I had, letting this run for a day or so got me up enough money to change my pillar of combat, or pillar over to combat, I should say. And then this one here, I'm waiting to get to this here. And I've also got my max bonus, for reduction. So I'm going to leave that there. I kind of thought about, because for each one of these obstacles, when you get it fully maxed out, the negatives are halved, but at some point you get at 95 mastery, you get full cost reduction on this. So, and at level 90, you're getting the max interval reduction. So it wouldn't necessarily, if I was going to run more of this, I might make sure all of these were at 90, not 95. It was 95, yeah. Or 99 if they have negatives. Like I need to make sure this one here needs to be at 99, because that +2 could be a +1. So I need to let this run. I need to let my agility run and collect up some more cash. Let this thing this one settle itself out at 99. Like, this doesn't have a negative, so having 99 isn't going to matter. But 95 if I need to rebuild it. So why would I need to rebuild this? Well, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I want to go back into combat. But then I look at my combat stuff, and the first thing I see is I don't have a summoning tablet there. I don't have either one of these, and I don't have either one of these. So I'm going to have to spend some time making summoning tablets, which means back and forth into agility, because I think it's this one, this right here, this runic trail is all for summoning tablets. And I think it might be this one here. There's like 2 of them. Yeah, this one gives you summoning -3% summoning interval. So switching back and forth between these would be really handy if I didn't have to pay as much. You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of got into that. Well, I could make some money off of this, and this really doesn't make nearly as much money as thieving does, like by a long shot. I made okay money, but like for a day's worth of, if I was really making money, I'd be in thieving. That's where it's at. But so that's kind of where we're at. That's what we did here, pretty much. Just get the obstacles set up. And that kind of brings us up to where we're at, because I got my 2 skills done. I wanted to get into combat, and then I saw that I was missing summoning tablets. All right, I got to craft a bunch of that up. And then I realized that I needed to redo my agility. So that's pretty much where we're at. And I mean, that's where we're going to go. It's pretty obvious where things are headed. I'm going to be working on Slayer and ranged and magic. So once I get enough summoning tablets built up, and like I thought these accounts get all confusing because I make like 250,000 summoning tablets for my melee character on hardcore, and then I assume I did it here and I forgot. So I'm out of all my stuff here. But the cool thing is I'm pretty well geared up. I really want to get more geared up, and I want to get my all skill cape, but unfortunately I'm not there. So, and I'm not worried about running this summoning synergy here. I know there's some cool stuff you get for cooking, but that's another deficiency I need to resolve. I don't have much food left, so I'm letting this run on cooking. I also started doing these pies, these apple pies. I let these run passively. I suppose I could turn these around, let this run, but this is so excruciatingly slow to begin with. Passively, it's going to be far, far longer, and I don't really care about completion on here. So any extra bonus mastery, I do apply. I do apply those all everywhere, but I'm not really worried about making these go up versus these. I need the food, so I'm letting that go. I looked over here. There's nothing I have ingredients for. I don't really care to collect the ingredients, so I just don't care about getting this one. This here, this apple pie, it is ingredients that I already have, and it heals fairly decently. Like there's not much of a benefit here, and I would have to buy more or grow more. So for a 2 ingredient thing, I thought, yeah, this ain't too bad. The rest of these I have to, I could do bread, but that only 140 hit points isn't worth it. You have to come down into these bottom 3 to make it worthwhile, and this is the least amount of resources for a decent XP bump. Over here, these really weren't that good. You'd have to grow the chicken soup, and it's like it takes a lot of ingredients and doesn't really heal for very much. So I was like, whatever. This is 3,000 versus 7,000, almost 8,000. So I don't know. I didn't really see the need. Sure, we could grow, I don't know, carrot cake, I guess, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was worth the effort. So that's kind of where we're at, and that's where we're going. I'm going to be working on summoning tablets and cooking. Get that all worked up. Once I get everything set with the summoning tablets, going back into combat. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're going. That will do it for this video. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.